Good day, beautiful people. Today we will take a look at your cellular junctions. Please note that your cells, they are arranged in a specific manner. Yes, they are arranged in a specific manner which is needed for them to perform their specific functions. And here you have your junctions. Okay, you have your junctions, which are specialized connections between your cells or between a cell and this extracellular matrix. Again, your junctions, these are specialized connections between your cells or between a cell and the extracellular matrix. And these cellular junctions, they play a role or an important role in maintaining the integrity of the cell, in maintaining the integrity, the function, as well as in the communication of your tissues. And please note that these cellular junctions, they are especially prominent in epithelial tissues. Again, the cellular junctions are especially prominent in epithelial tissues, which line the surfaces and which form protective barriers. Okay, this will be our topic for this sequence. We said earlier, your cells, especially your epithelial cells, they are closely okay, your cells, they are closely and your cell membranes, please note the cell membranes of these closely packed cells, they make contact with each other. They make contact with each other via your junctions. And please note that there is an intercellular space. There is a space between these cells that is approximately 15 to 20 nanometers gap. There is a very narrow space in between these cells. Okay, and yes, your cell junctions, these are present, okay? Your junctions, they are present to avoid the separation. They are present to maintain the very narrow gap. And yes, okay, you have your linker proteins, okay? You have your linkers or your linker proteins. These are proteins that anchor the plasma membrane of the neighboring cells. These linkers actually, they are important in your cellular junctions. So, at your cellular junctions here, you have actually three types or three groups of cellular junctions. Okay, you have three groups of cellular junctions. The first group actually is your adhesive junction. This is your first group of your adhesive junction. In this adhesive junction, it functions in maintaining cell to cell or cell to basal lamina adherence. Again, your adhesive junctions, it functions in maintaining cell to cell or cell to basal lamina adherence. Okay, so you have the following: your adhesive cellular junctions that are part of your adhesive junctions. You have your desmosomes, or it is otherwise known as macula adherens, or otherwise known as adhesive spot. And then you have your adhesive belt, okay, or your zonula adherens, okay, adhesive belt or zonula adherens, and then you have fascia adherens, or this is otherwise known as adhesive strips, and you have your hemidesmosomes. You have your hemidesmosomes. Okay, those are the cellular junctions under the group adhesive junctions. And please note that these adhesive junctions, they tie adjacent cells mechanically with each other. Again, they tie adjacent cells mechanically with each other. Okay. And then you have your tight junction. Of course, you have your tight junctions. Under this, you only have one, which is your tight junction, of course. Okay, your tight junction, which seals adjacent cell membranes with each other. Okay, this is otherwise known as occluding junction or tight junction or zonula occludens. Okay, and yes, please note this one functions to create a barrier for movement of material through interval between your cells. It creates a strict barrier. Okay, it creates a barrier for movement of materials through interval between the cells. Or yes, it forms an impermeable barrier. Okay, it forms it forms an impermeable barrier that prevents materials from taking an intercellular route passing in across, in passing across the epithelial sheath. Example for this one is your, what you call this? Example for this is your urine, your urinary bladder. Okay, in your urinary bladder, of course, okay, yeah, uh, tight junction actually tight junction prevents, okay, the escape of urine from the urinary bladder going to its surrounding organs. Okay, that is for your tight junction. Okay, and yes, you have your gap junctions. Okay, you have three groups of cellular junctions. First, you have your adhesive junctions, and then you have your tight junction, and then you have your third one, which is your gap junction. Your gap junction, okay, it is only one. Okay, the member is only one gap junction. Okay, your gap junction is otherwise known as communicating junction. And this one permits the transport of substances across the cells. Your gap junctions permit the transport of substances across your cells, especially in cells which are in places or in locations where, okay, especially in locations where the tissue is avascular, or it is far, or where the tissue is far from the source of nutrients. Okay, so yes, in gap junctions, your movement of your ions or signaling molecules between cells is permitted in gap junctions. Okay, again, movement of ions or signaling molecules between cells is permitted by your gap junctions. Thus, of course, coupling adjacent cells both electrically and metabolically. Okay, that is for your gap junctions. Okay, let's take a look at this one. You have here actually an illustration showing you your junctions. Okay, showing you your junctions. Okay, of course, you have here your microvilli. Microvilli is one of your cell surface modification, or let's say microvilli is one of your uh, apical surface modifications for your epithelium. Anyway, okay, just beneath, of course, you have your tight junction, and then you have your beneath your tight junction, you have your adherence, and then beneath your adherence is your desmosome. Please note that these three one here, these three here, they form your junctional complex. They form your junctional complex. Okay, they form your junctional complex. Please note you have your tight, you have your adherence, and then you have your desmosome. Okay, you have your desmosome. Okay, please take a look at your adherence junction here. Okay, and then please note these are not part of your junctional complex, your gap junction, as well as your hemidesmosome. Okay, please, they are not part. Okay, your gap junction, and then you have your hemidesmosome. Okay, we will take a look at this one by one. Okay, let's take a look at your adherence junctions or your adhesive junctions. Okay, you have your adhesive or your adhesive junctions. Okay, so your desmosome is one of your adhesive junctions. Again, as what I've said earlier, this one is otherwise known as macula adherens or adhesion spots. Okay, your desmosomes, please note that they provide strong adhesion between the cells. Okay, your desmosomes, they provide strong adhesion between the cells. And yes, this desmosome, they connect the lateral surfaces of the cells. Lateral meaning sides. Okay, lateral. They connect the sides of the cells. Okay, lateral surfaces of the cells. Okay, and yes, your desmosomes, it has a dense, thick disc on the inner side of the plasma membrane. Okay, you have a dense, thick disc on the inner side of the plasma membrane, meaning there is a thickening on the inner side. Inside the plasma membrane, there is a thickening, and this thickening or this dense thick disk is made of desmoplakin protein. Okay, this one is made of desmoplakin protein. And of course, you have transmembrane linker proteins. Okay, these linker proteins, of course, will connect your cell with the other cell. Okay, this transmembrane linker protein, actually it is cadherin. Okay, it is cadherin. Okay, it is cadherin. And yes, this transmembrane linker protein will extend across the intercellular space and connect your dense disk of two adjacent cells. Okay, imagine there is a yarn. Okay, imagine there is a yarn or there is a lubid. Okay, imagine there is a yarn, there is a tali connecting, okay, two cells. Okay, binutasan mo yung dalawang bilog na bola, binutasan mo yung dalawang bilog na bola, and inside them, you made a thickening. And using that yarn, or the lubed, you make connect. Okay? I hope you imagined it. Okay? Again, your transmembrane linker protein extends across, extends across the intercellular spaces and connect your dense disks of two adjacent cells. And please note that in your dense thick disk, okay, inside, okay, this dense thick disk, you have your intracytoplasmic fine intermediate filaments. These intracytoplasmic fine intermediate filaments run into the cytoplasm, run in the cytoplasm, and they get attached to the dense thick disk. Okay, they get attached to the dense thick disk. Okay, and please note that your desmosomes, okay, there is approximately 30 nanometer distance between the cells. Okay, it leaves a 30 nanometer distance or 30 nanometer space between the cells. Okay, so what is the function of your desmosome? It is an adhesive junction. It provides strong adhesion and helps to withstand physical and mechanical stress. Okay? Your desmosomes again provide strong adhesion and helps to withstand physical and mechanical stress. Okay? Because if there is no junctions, if there is no cellular junctions present in your cells or in your epithelium, isang kurot mo lang nahiwalay na sila. Okay. Anyway, aside from that, your desmosomes provide stability to the epithelium. Please note that your epithelial cells, okay, or yes, they are exposed to mechanical stress. Okay, that is why your desmosomes, it provides stability to the epithelium. And location, okay, tissue location for your desmosomes, it is located in the epidermis of the skin. Okay, because of course your epithelial cells, they're exposed to mechanical stress, especially your epidermis. Okay, kasi maya't maya hinahawakan ka or whatsoever. Anyhow, that is for your tissue location of your desmosome. Okay, this one is an illustration showing you your desmosomes. Okay, imagine that this portion here, okay, imagine that this portion here is a cell membrane of one cell. Okay, and this portion here is a cell membrane of another cell. Okay, imagine again, imagine that this one is a cell membrane of one cell, and this is a cell membrane of another cell. Okay, so you have here your dense, thick disc, okay, which is made of desmoplakin protein. Of course, you have here the intercellular space. Okay, and then you have your transmembrane proteins, your cadherin, okay, cadherin proteins. Okay, cadherin, dysmocholine, and your dysmoglin. Okay, transmembrane proteins. And please note that you have intracytoplasmic intermediate filaments that run in the cytoplasm and get attached to your dense thick disk. Okay, these intermediate filaments, they function also to anchor. Okay, they function also to anchor. Okay, that is for your desmosome. Okay, then you have your zonula adherens or your adhesive belt. Okay, your adhesive belt. Okay, this zonula adherens, please note, it provides lateral adhesion to cell walls with adjacent cells. Okay, actually same. It provides lateral adhesion. No? It is actually same with desmosome because desmosome provides lateral adhesion also. But then if you try to remember, we presented earlier an image showing you your junctional complex. Okay, showing you your junctional complex. Okay, just below the microvilli is your tight junction, and below the tight junction is your zonule adherens. Okay, and then you have desmosome, if I remember it right. Anyway, your zonule adherens, it provides lateral adhesion, same with desmosome. But then the difference here is, okay, but then, sorry, here are key points. Okay, still it is an adhesive belt. It is an adhesive belt. Your zonula adherens leaves a 15 to 20 nanometer space between adjacent cell membrane. And yes, okay, zonula adherens completely encircle the cell. Okay, it completely encircle the cell. That is for your zonula adherens. Okay, again, zonula adherens completely encircle the cell. Okay, and yes, you in zonula adherens, you have deposits of protein in the inner cytoplasmic side, which provides attachment to cytoplasmic actin filaments from cytoskeleton. Okay, same. There is a thickening. There is a thickening in the inner part or in the inner side of the cell membrane. Okay, there is a thickening on the inner side of the cell membrane. Okay, which of course, okay, this thickening, it is actually a deposit of protein. And this thickening here provides attachment to cytoplasmic actin cell filaments from the cytoskeleton. And your zonula adherens, you have your transmembrane protein that will attach with actin filaments here. Okay, your zonula adherens completely encircle the cell. Okay, so your zonula adherens, it has a network of actin filaments in the apical portion. Again, zonula adherens, it has a network of actin filaments in the apical portion that runs horizontally and forms a terminal web. Okay, it runs horizontally and forms a terminal web uh, that somewhat affects the microvilli. Okay, this network of actin filaments in the apical portion, okay, will cause the microvilli to spread out. Okay, contraction of these actin filaments in the apical portion will spread out the microvilli. Okay, and yes, if the microvilli is spread out, okay, it will increase the area for absorption. It will increase the surface area for absorption and digestion. Okay, it will the if the microvilli is spread out, it will again increase the surface area for absorption and digestion. Okay, zonula adherens, it provides strong adhesion between adjacent cells and it gives stability to terminal web of cells. Okay, it gives stability to terminal web of cells. Okay, showing you here an illustration of your zonula adherens. Of course, you have two cells, okay? Cell membrane of one cell and cell membrane of another cell. Okay, you have your cadherens, okay, or cadherens that what you call this connects still. Okay, and there is a thickening. There is a thickening, but then it is not a dense, thick disc, unlike unlike with the desmosome. Okay, so you have here there is actually a thickening. Okay, and then of course you have your actin filaments. You have your actin filaments present. Okay, and there is a what you call this, there is a filament that run adjacent going to the apical portion. Okay, there are filaments that will form your terminal web, okay, that will somewhat affect or that will somewhat allow your microvilli to spread out. Okay, and then you have your fascia adherens, or this one is otherwise known as adhesive strips, which is similar to zonula adherens, but then it does not encircle the entire circumference of the cell. Like it does not encircle the entire circumference of the cell. And yes, for your fascia adherens, okay, it is located, tissue location for this one, it is located in your intercalated discs of cardiac muscles as well as intercalated discs of your smooth muscles. Zonula, I mean fascia adherens. Okay, and then you have hemidesmosomes. Hemidesmosomes. Your hemi means half. Okay, so hemidesmosome. For this one, please note that this is not part of your junctional complex. Okay, your hemidesmosome half. Okay, half only. Okay, so that this hemidesmosome will anchor the cell to the basal lamina. Okay, hemidesmosomes anchors the cells to the basal lamina. Okay, it anchors the cells to the basal lamina. Accordingly, it is similar to your desmosome. Okay, your hemidesmosome is similar to your desmosome, but then it is only half. Okay, so the basal lamina shows a thickening on the inner surface of the cell. The basal lamina shows a thickening on the inner surface of the cell. And that one will give attachment. It will provide the attachment site to cytoplasmic intermediate filaments. Okay, so there is in the basal lamina, there is a thickening on the inner surface. Okay, and you call that as an intracellular attachment plaque. The thickening in the basal lamina for your desmosome, you call it as your intracellular attachment plaque. And this thickening, it is made of desmoplakin protein. Okay, you have your desmoplakin proteins, of course. You have your plectin, okay, BP230, okay, yes, BP230 and erbium accordingly. Please note that absence of BP230 here, okay, absence of BP230 or presence of autoantibodies against BP230 will produce your bolus pemphigoid disease. Okay, absence of this one will produce bolus pemphigoid disease. Okay, this bolus pemphigoid disease shows large fluid-filled blisters. Anyway, that is for your hemi desmosomes. Please note that it has integrin class of transmembrane proteins. Okay, examples of these transmembrane proteins that are present in your hemidesmosome, you have A4B6, integrin, okay, collagen, and CD151. This integrin class of transmembrane proteins will help anchor the cell with the basal lamina. They help anchor the cell with the basal lamina. So this one, okay, your hemidesmosome, it connects the cell to the basal lamina. Here, an illustration showing you your hemidesmosome. It is, okay, imagine this portion is the basement membrane, and this one is your cell. Okay, this is your cell membrane. Imagine this is your cell membrane, this portion, and this is your basement membrane. Okay, this is your basement membrane. Okay, so of course there is a thickening at the basal lamina portion. Okay, and there is also a thickening at this portion. Okay, there is an intracellular attachment thickening also. Okay, that is for your hemidesmosome. Of course, there is a transmembrane protein that will connect. There is a transmembrane protein that will connect accordingly. And shown here, you have collagen fibers. Okay, and the transmembrane protein. You have integrin, okay, that will connect the cell and the basal lamina. Okay, and then you have your occluding junction. Your occluding junction. Okay, representative for this one, you have your occludens junction or your tight junction. Occluding junction or your tight junction accordingly. Okay, so your zonula occludens, okay, zone zonula occludens, please note, your zonula occludens or your tight junction, they are present near the apical surface of cells. They are present near the apical surface of your cells. And, okay, what do they do? Okay, your zonula occludens, okay, they seal intercellular space along the entire circumference of the cell. Okay, for your occludens, zonula occludens, they seal intercellular space. They leave no space. Okay, no space left. Okay, they seal intercellular space along the entire circumference of the cell to prevent escape of substances. Okay, to prevent escape of substances. Okay, you have the following proteins. You have occludin, claudins, junctional adhesion molecule, which provide attachment to intracellular actin filament. Okay, this occludin, this claudin, these junctional adhesion molecules, they join in the intercellular space and also provide attachment to to intracellular actin filaments through, of course, your zonula occludens proteins. Okay, and what is the function? Okay, it provides firm cellular adhesion. Again, it provides firm cellular adhesion. Aside from that, it fills your intercellular spaces. Okay, it fills. Okay, it seals to prevent escape of substances, and it provides barrier and prevents entry of a content of organ into the blood. Example for this one, of course, example you have in your in your bladder, okay, in your urinary bladder. Okay, the zonula occludens will provide barrier and prevent the entry of the urine going to the blood. Okay, tissue location for this one, you have the epithelium of the intestines, renal tubules, as well as the urinary bladder. Okay, tissue location, you have epithelium of the intestines, renal tubules, as well as the urinary bladder. Okay, this one showing you your, okay, it shows your occludence, your, okay, your tight junctions. Okay, and so this one is a cell. This one is a cell membrane of one cell, and this is the cell membrane of another cell. Okay, of course, you have your claudine, okay, and your other, your claudine, your occludine, and your junctional molecule proteins, okay, which connect, okay, and of course, you have actin filaments. Of your gap junctions. This one is otherwise known as your communicating junction, and for other references, they call it as nexus 5. This is actually the last of your junctions. Okay, your gap junctions. Please note they are cell-to-cell communication channels, and the cytoplasmic connectivity between adjacent cells is through a small canaliculi. Okay, and yes, okay, the small canaliculi is approximately less than 3 nanometers in diameter. Okay, less than 3 nanometers in diameter, which is formed by a protein called connexons. Okay, it is formed by gap junctions actually, is formed by a protein called connexons. Okay, unlike with your, yes, okay, unlike your other junctions, which is for uh which is for stability, this one there is a pore, okay, or there is a butas, okay, or a small canaliculi that will serve as the passage. Gap junctions, please note that you have 6 connexon molecules that run across the cell membrane. And this one traverses through the intercellular space and connects with the other. Okay, it connects with the other cell. Okay, but then please note that the small canaliculi, I mean, this gap junction, it has pores. Okay, it has pores. Okay, that serves as the passageway of your substances. Okay, please note that opening and closing of the gap junctions, okay, because it can close. The pore, the butas, pwede pong magsara yon. Okay, opening and closing of the pore of the gap junction can regulate the transport of calcium ions and can maintain the pH. Okay, okay, there is an image, okay, right after this slide. Your gap junctions, as for the function, it maintains cytoplasmic continuity of cells and make them physiological syncytium, okay, in sync, okay, and helps pass substances between cells without entering the extracellular fluid. This one actually is important, again, especially in cells, okay, that are located very far away, okay, especially in cells that are located very far away from the source of nutrient or from the blood vessel or from the intercellular, from the extracellular fluid. Okay, and yes, they help excite and contract the entire muscle together. Okay, and so your gap junctions, so like, I mean, yes, they help excite and contract entire muscles together, like your smooth muscles and cardiac muscles. Okay, so they are in sync. They are, I mean, yes, in sync. They help excite and contract the entire muscle together, okay, which reduces the need of muscular signal transmission by exciting adjacent cells. Okay, so you have here an image showing you your gap junction. Okay, showing you your gap junction. Please note, okay, these connections, they traverse the entire cell membrane. They traverse the entire cell membrane. Okay, there is a pore, there is a channel. Okay, there is a channel. Okay, and yes, there is a pore which can open and can be closed. Okay. Of course, this one is a cell membrane of another cell, and this one is a cell membrane of another cell. Okay. So you have here your six. Okay. You have here your six connexons. Okay. Six connexon proteins. One, two, three, four, five, six. Six connexon protein, which makes up actually this gap junctions. And yes, the connects the connection can open. Okay, the connection can open. This one is for the closed one, and this is for the open one. Okay, if you can see, may butas po sa gitna nito. Okay, whereas in this one, okay, it is totally closed. Okay, so here showing you your what you call this, your different cellular junctions accordingly. Of course, you have your junctional complexes. You have your junctional complexes. Of course, you have your uh, tight junction, and then you have your adherence junction, and then you have your desmosome. Okay, your desmosome. And then, of course, you have your gap junctions. These are your gap junctions. And then this one, okay, your hemidesmosome. Okay, again, for your zonula, for your zonula occludens, they extend along the entire circumference. Okay, if you try to take a look at this one, they span the entire circumference of the cell. Okay, whereas for your what you call this, whereas for your desmosomes, they do not. Okay? And so, yes, this occludence junction, they prevent the material from taking paracellular route in passing from the lumen into the connective tissue. And then your adherence junction, okay? You have eke adherents that bind to each other in the intercellular space. And of course, you have your gap junctions. Your gap junctions or your communicating junctions, which is intended for small molecules and ions to pass between cells. Okay, this what they call this gap junctions, they couple your adjacent cells metabolically and electrically, making them in sync. Okay, and of course your hemidesmosome, which attaches the epithelial cells to the underlying basal lamina or to the underlying basement membrane. Okay, just to sum up, you have your tight junction, the major transmembrane protein. You have occludins, claudin, and uh, zonula occludens protein. Okay, cytoskeletal component, actin filaments, and you have the function that steals adjacent cells to one another, preventing escape of your fluid to other tissue spaces. And then you have your adherence junction, your major transmembrane protein. You have cadherin, catenin, and catenin complexes. Cytoskeletal component, you have actin filaments, and it provides points of linking it provides points linking the cytoskeleton of adjacent cells and strengthens and stabilizes nearby tight junctions. And then you have your desmosome. Okay, the protein, transmembrane protein present. You have uh, I mean, yes, you have cadherin family proteins, okay, and then you have intermediate filaments. It's the cytoskeletal component. And your desmosome functions to provide points of strong intermediate filament coupling between adjacent cells. And then you have your hemidesmosomes. Okay, you have integrin as your uh, protein component, and then intermediate filament as the cytoskeletal component, which anchors the cytoskeleton to the basal lamina, or anchors the cell to the basal lamina. Okay, or it connects the cell to the basal lamina, and then you have your gap junctions. Okay, your connexin as the major protein, and there is no, please note, there is no intermediate, or there is no cytoskeletal component or cytoskeletal protein that is involved here. Okay, this one allows direct transfer of small molecules in the ions from one cell to another. Okay, so I guess let's end here. Let's continue some other time. And this has been Gael, reminding you to live fully, love deeply, laugh often, keep learning, and never forget to enjoy the ride. And as you move forward, may you always choose curiosity over fear, kindness over convenience, and growth over comfort. Celebrate your small victories. Honor your quiet moments and trust that every step, no matter how uncertain, shapes the story you are meant to tell. The world is wide, your time is precious, and your journey is uniquely yours. So go make it extraordinary. Again, this has been Gael. Thank you. Thank you so much, and see you around.